Welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Today we're doing a how-to on how to exactly get to different, well, really not different bass, synth bass sounds, but more so just getting you started into creating in your individual bass sound. So some important things to note, we'll be using everything from pedals, some have software, some are just hardware, to the Roland Xenology GX app. What's going on, Porch Bass? Appreciate you chiming in and stopping by. The usual suspects in here. Appreciate you guys, as usual. Also, while you're here, everybody, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit them reactions. It definitely helps me out. And if this helps you out, feel free to hit that Cash App, Super Chat. I definitely appreciate it all. And that hype button. All right. So let's start with, we'll start with the Chimera here. So with this basic synth we'll be doing, we'll use a saw wave and a sine wave, right? So we're going to use a saw wave and octave up, and have a sine wave on the bottom. And one of the key factors when you're mixing your oscillators and things like that is to really make sure that that lower octave is more prominent than the top one. For example, let's see what I got this at. It's at 50. Let's say that's at 50. So if I turn that second oscillator, the higher one up, now I'll have a less, bottom heavy patch. But I like to have something that, right off the bat, you're almost all the way there if you mix the oscillators correctly. So it's not always turn the oscillators on 1,000 and then you go. You might use, I'm using about half. I'm using, if the lower octave is at 100, I'm using the upper octave at about half of that. But that's not a rule. It's just something to get you a nice bass sound starting out. So that part's fairly simple. You want to start with a simple oscillator patch, nothing on it, and just make sure that that sounds good. Now, I like to use things like a Moog style low pass filter. So that can be negative 24 dB or negative 12 dB, and they give you different flavors. So the negative 12 is more subtle, while the negative 24 dB is more aggressive. So that's the difference between those two modes on most synths. All right, so come over here. Let's reset these filter settings. With the filter on and all the way open. So almost there already. So if we bring the cutoff down, start to hear that to cut out a bit. So if you just wanted a sub bass type of sound, you can go with that, and that doesn't have any ADSR, modulating it at all right now. So we're going to add just a touch of some resonance. With bass sounds, you don't need a whole lot. You might need 10, 20, maybe 30%, depending on what you're doing. And then we'll add in some some of the ADSR envelope as well. And as you can hear, it's not doing much right now, right? So we have to literally shape that filter. So let's start with some decay. We're gonna have that ADSR open up a little bit more. Now you can hear it start to sweep. Also add some more resonance just to exaggerate it. So as you can hear there, you're already almost there already. Let's turn that up a bit. And all we did was just add a bit of decay to the filter, right? ADSR, which stands for attack, decay, sustain, and release, right? And most synths have a ADSR for the filter and the amp envelope or the volume of the oscillators. And so the filter one pretty much handles the filter sweep and how it's behaving. So if I wanted that to not just go, I'm going to really exaggerate it for you guys. Let's bring this. So there, I wouldn't typically use that much resonance. But I wanted, you got to over-exaggerate it so you can hear it a bit, then dial it back. So if I add some attack time to that, so now the attack time handles how long it takes that filter to open from that cutoff that I set, because I have a positive filter envelope applied to the filter. So what that means is it's going to open up and close, right? Versus a negative filter envelope means it's going to go from that cutoff down and back up to that filter cutoff. So positive, you're going above the cutoff and back down to the cutoff. Negative filter envelope amount means you're going below the cutoff and coming back up to the cutoff. So that's the actual filter envelope, kind of explained a little bit more. But as you can see, now we have a sound that needs some time to open. But if we wanted a quicker attack, no attack. So we don't, typically won't use that much attack time with the filter. Right there. Only thing I would really change is probably bring that filter envelope amount down some. See, now it doesn't go up to the super high frequencies, but it's still. even out of a guitar synth, if it's an actual synth, you will be able to get some decent bass synths out of it, and the Chimera is a polyphonic synth. However, it still can get some, as you can hear, straight up dirty bass sounds in there, right? And this was just the oscillator and filter portion of building a bass synth, right? We still have effects we can add. We still have different options we can add with portamento or just various things that synths have, right? So if we were to add some glide to that, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and save this real quick. You want to kind of save your progress as you're going along with things like this. And that's with the negative 24 dB filter. And you see it has a very aggressive filter to it. Matter of fact, let's check out some of the other filters. Let's see what the negative 12. And of course, we got a heck of amount of resonance there on that. We can make that a lot smoother if we wanted to, simply by bringing back the resonance amount. So if we wanted, to keep that more resonant type sound. But you also have things like these format filters. And that's just adding a format filter, and just changing the filter will do a lot for you when creating synths and different sounds. So, definitely check out the different filters that are available to you on different devices. So, all right, from here, let me go back to the previous setting. We'll take that. Let me see. We can add some distortion or overdrive post, type thing. If we wanted to keep it, just add some saturation. That's an example of just adding a little bit, but if you bring up that mix, you can hear what it sounds like by itself. Now you got other modulations available here. Well, let's go back to the distortion section for 1 second. You also have bit crushing you can add to different things. know that's all optional things. Thank you. Appreciate that. Feel free to chime in, folks. If you got any questions, hit that like button for me while you're here. And again, if you find this useful to me, or to you rather. Oh, check out what's my man? Wander. Appreciate you. Appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. Yeah, the format filters in here are really good. You know, I actually like them a lot. You know, they add a lot of character to your sound. But let's see what we doing with some modulation. You also have chorus. And vibrato. And you also have delay and reverb on this pedal. We don't necessarily need that for synth bass. Sometimes you can use a little bit of delay or reverb on it if you want to open it up to some different things. But for the most part, we almost done with this particular sound. Let me just check this distortion setting. Okay. So with the Chimera, you also have to go in and assign the pitch modulations to the modulation wheel here on your keyboard or whatever the case. So how you would do that, you hit utility, scroll till it says mod wheel assignment. And let me set up this. Before we even do that, hit LFO. We're going to set up our vibrato effect. So I like to have mine around 4 to 5K kilohertz. So bam, on a sine wave. Then we'll come over to the utilities menu. Scroll over to mod wheel. We're going to assign this to the LFO of the pitch of each oscillator. So, yep, that's pitch 1. And we'll set that to a value of about half. I don't like too much range on it. We'll do 90 is the exact parameter I'm going to use. So oscillator B, pitch LFO 1. And we're going to do the same thing. And I try to set these two volumes to the same thing. LFO 1, where is it? There it is. So set this to 93 as well. Now you can get that classic. I'm going to actually speed up that LFO as well. the 6. So now you got your full synth built on the Chimera there. And again, save your presets as you're going along. So and the Chimera doesn't have a monophonic mode, so you know it's always polyphonic. Now what I will do is add maybe a little bit of glide, just a little bit. Probably put that around 10. And another thing I really like about the Chimera is even when you have that portamento on, right? If I articulate, it doesn't do it. Now if I do, then the portamento will kick in. So So nice, easy bass synth that you can make on the Chimera. And again, that's a saw wave, upper octave, and a saw wave upper octave and a sine wave an octave below that, with primarily the sine wave carrying the B for the sound, while having enough of the saw wave to add that nice texture. Some modulation going on from the flanger, a little bit of extra grittiness and saturation from the distortion. Now what we also have in the filter section is key follow, which pretty much will allow this, and the further up you play, the brighter the filter would be, and the lower you play, the darker this would be. So I'll give you some example of that, just an extreme example. I'm sorry, I would have to change a few options for you to really hear it. But pretty much what that feature allows you to do is just have a lower, darker sound, and then when you play higher up, give you a brighter sound, essentially. Just because I don't feel like messing up my settings right now. So that's the sound. All right, let's move on to the Enzo X, right? So the Chimera does not have any software that you can edit on, but they make it extremely easy for you to edit on the pedal, very well laid out. The Enzo X, on the other hand, is very well laid out on the actual pedal, in addition to having software that you can easily edit the entire patch in. So that definitely helps out. Make sure y'all hit that like button and them reactions for me, and if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget, on Patreon, you can grab all my presets for different pedals and things like that. I will be coming out with a Chimera pack, or the Enzo X, Future Impact, C4 synth, Mercury X, 20-some preamp packs for the Tone X1, the Zoom pedals, B6, MS60B plus, MS70 CDR plus. All that stuff's on Patreon, as well as if you want to support the channel for $1, $5 a month. I definitely appreciate you guys, and shout out to all the Patreon folks. All right, back to it. All right, so we on the Enzo X. And I did take the time to just kind of put these oscillators together just so we could save a little bit of time. But these oscillators on here, it's only 3 of them. You have a saw, square, and triangle. And a lot of classic bass synths are made out of saw and square waves, right? So that's in there. But what I like to make mine out of a lot of times is the saw and triangle wave on the Enzo X. The triangle wave just has a bigger bottom to the wave and bigger feel to it on here. And again, I'm using primarily the saw wave as the texture up top and using the triangle an octave below that to give me all the body of the sound, of the bass sound itself. Then I have the ratio so this octave down triangle is at 100%, while the saw is at 28% of the volume. You know what I'm saying? So literally like a 3-to-1, almost 3-to-1 ratio. But it gives you a nice big bass sound to work from. And the real key I found with subtractive synths is to get those oscillators very close to where you want to go. And if you can get those oscillators close to where you want to go, then adding a filter, you're more so just subtracting out things you don't want in the sound at the moment, or sweeping across filters within a certain range that you dictate. So it's really important that you get those oscillators sound nice and big and heavy. So, all right. From here, we'll go with the same type of filter, a negative 24 dB Moog style filter, or Moog. What's going on? Appreciate you, Jeremiah 101. Appreciate you stopping by. Usual suspects, y'all always pop in. I definitely appreciate y'all support as usual. Y'all always show up. I appreciate that. All right, so moving on to the filter, we'll play around with the cutoff. See instantly. You can find where you really want that sound to sit. All right, so I can do like on the Enzo X, like around that 421 hertz is where that cutoff is sitting. Oh, thanks. I definitely appreciate you checking out those clips. Yeah, those are friends of mine from years back. You know, just it's always good to see some of your friends perform and, you know, support some of the other musicians in the world. What's going on, birthday? All right, cool. So now we're going to add a bit of well, let's turn up some resonance here just to that's the resonance all the way up. tool width all the way down. Alright, so we'll go with around 3 for now. Alright, and we'll go with a positive filter envelope amount of, let's start around 43%. Alright, and we'll need to go to the filter envelope section here. Oh, I forgot to talk about the amp envelope ADSR. So for most synth bass, it's just like no attack, no decay, all sustain. That's most bass sounds. And then when you want that like bouncier, like boom, boom type sound, you add some release to the attack envelope. So just to give you a quick example. So that bouncier sound is happening after I'm hitting the note. So after I'm hitting the note's still going. That's what the release is. But with no attack and all sustain, it's just a long note. Now, if I wanted that to hit and come down a little bit, I can use no attack, bring the sustain level down, and use a bit of decay. I'll do an extreme version. And then it comes down to whatever I have that sustain level set to. Because once it hits that sustain level, it's just as long as I'm holding a note, it's going to stay there. But you see, when I'm first hitting that note, it's giving you full volume. Then it backs off. Now, if I wanted it to swell, I would add some attack time. Right? Also, if I wanted to have a pluckier sound, I can use no attack, no sustain, no release, and just all decay. Just very short decay. Gets you that pluckier. And I can just determine how long I want the note to be. Longer, decay. And the cool thing about the Enzo X, you have such extreme ADSR times, you can really shape things like for really long periods of time. It's up to 83 seconds, 88.333 seconds, something crazy like that you can ultimately have that sustain or that decay, attack time, whatever. You can really shape it on a longer time frame. So back to the original settings again, all sustain, just for your classic bass synth stuff. Appreciate you Logically Faded for subscribing. Thank you. What's going on? You see, you got a couple of them here. I definitely appreciate y'all subscribing for sure. Appreciate you, Never Sober. Oh, you're in Baltimore. Yeah, I'm in the Washington D.C. area, so hopefully you'll be seeing you come out to one of these shows real soon. You know, I'll be throwing some shows with my band where I'll be doing some solo stuff, as well as I'll have, of course, my whole band playing with me as well. So I'll do a mix of that for some shows. But yeah, definitely make sure you hit me up on social media. Follow me on social media, on different, Instagram and all that stuff. I definitely keep up with my shows and stuff a little bit more. All right, so back at it. So all sustain, no decay, no attack. We'll come back to the filter envelope. So right now it's not doing much, right? But we're going to exaggerate that filter envelope a bit, right? I'm going to put that on 100 just for now so you can hear it a little better. And we'll add a bit of more resonance. So right now we have no attack, no decay, all sustained, and no release on the filter envelope as well. So it just stays completely open at the filter at the frequency that we set with the frequency envelope amount. And again, we have a positive amount. So at this point, it's making the filter stay completely open because I have about 100% of the filter envelope, positive filter envelope applied. So if I bring the sustain down, you can hear where the filter is going to sit. So by me having the cutoff exactly where I want it to be already, we'll have it with 0 sustain because I already have the filter cutoff set to the 420 hertz I want it to stop at. All right. And what we'll do is we'll add a bit of attack time. You can hear it, how fast that attack time is. We have no decay. And the reason it drops off that curve like that, off that cliff rather, is because it's no decay time. So I just want you guys to be able to hear the differences in what the filter is doing with the ADSR. That's pretty good. And that time is 0.609 seconds. So we talking like milliseconds here. We'll add some decay. So anywhere, if I don't want to change my frequency cutoff, I can easily come to where the sustain is and change where I want that to stop at. So you notice it's still starting from the filter cutoff. I'm going to increase that attack time. You hear that a little more. So it go instead of wow, right? So you can. That's with none of the filters sustain. So it'll open from a certain place, and it'll end in a different place while you're holding the sustain. So very powerful tools available to you in the EnzoX. So you can assign that filter, filter frequency cutoff. Say you wanted it to be an LFO filter. Instead of shaping it with the filter envelope, or regulating it with that, I can choose to do things like assign this filter envelope amount to LFO. So if you scroll over to the modifier section, page one of the modifier sections to LFO-A, we can easily have this. If you do LFO-A assign, put that to the filter envelope amount. Then we're gonna matter of fact, I'm gonna take off the filter envelope amount altogether. Oh, that's why. Okay, let's put this there. And we're gonna assign it to the frequency cutoff instead. Make my life easier. And we can come back over to the frequency cutoff. Now we can choose what range we want it to work in. Right, so and now what we can also do, we can assign that same parameter, the frequency cutoff, to any of these modifiers to create different things. Like instead of just using the ADSR to trigger it, which has set times and things like that, we can have the LFO like we just did. We can assign it to the sample and hold as well. Let's turn this back off. And the sample and hold is pretty much like a random generator type thing. See, now you got a random filter. And you can not only assign it to, that has its own LFO that you can assign it to, which is running off right now, or you can assign it to the internal clock. That's quarter notes, which is, as you can see, is synced up with this light as well. Different note divisions. Now you can also assign that to multiple things. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you chiming in. So say we have that assigned to, not just that, we can assign it to a LFO. So say we have that random sampling hold there. We can also assign that LFO back to the same thing. Now you got the LFO sweeping real slow while the sampling hold is doing random stuff in general. So that's why you're getting like those sub frequencies starting to come in and out. But yeah, that's why you know, having these modifiers on the Enzo X definitely makes it a super powerful tool. And of course, you can assign the LFO to and these different modifiers to any of these parameters on that you may be using. So if I don't want to use a sample and hold random, I also have an envelope modifier here. Now we can also here, so that's an envelope based on when we're actually triggering the note. So when we trigger the note, then the envelope fires with the predetermined attack time and decay time. So if I wanted a longer attack, and I can have a longer decay time as well. I can just put it on infinite and it'll just stay there. So it'll just open and stay. And this is just dealing with the filter frequency cutoff. You could assign, again, these parameters, these modifiers to any of the parameters. Then I can also assign it to this whole modifier button here as well, which allow me to manually, with this foot switch, no additional foot switches or expression pedal, be able to control the filter with your foot. So and again, you can determine that attack and decay time. So you can get some really, really cool effects out of knowing how to assign different parameters to the different modifiers and just understanding how those modifiers actually work and how they're laid out. Same thing with the Chimera as well. You know, it has a whole modifier section that once you learn how it works, you know, on here you also have two LFOs and an envelope, as well as you have the ability to assign these an additional ADSR for your pitch and all this other stuff on here. So you got a lot of options on this pedal as well with building patches and bass synth, but you just really got to understand what these different aspects of it is. So again, we started with a saw wave and a triangle wave down an octave. So saw wave up an octave, triangle wave down an octave, 100% of the triangle wave with about 30% of the sawtooth. And then from there, we're using a negative 24 dB ladder filter. And right now we have things set up a little bit, you know, exaggerated for the filter so you can hear these different modifiers and what you can actually do with them. But typically, again, you want to keep it around 10, 20, maybe 30% on the resonance because that'll allow you to keep a lot more bass in your sound typically. All right, so we'll take that off of there. You can also have it assigned to the sequencer, right? So you got a 16-step sequencer in here. We'll just take a few. Say we'll make a 4-step sequence. And let's see, that should be fast enough. So now we got a 4-step sequence going on here. And we can control each step individually. So as you can hear, now we have a sequence 4-step filter. And we can also, instead of having just the speed in hertz, we can easily come over to the note divisions. And So with it attached to the 16-step sequencer, I can have that filter be literally 16 different steps. Also, if I assign the same sequencer to the pitch of it, I can literally have it do like sequence the pitches like almost like an arpeggiator type thing. So just by really understanding, what the modifiers are on each device, and how they work, things like this are also you can't do like the step sequence part, but you can, you still have two LFOs, an envelope in here, as well as like morphing wave table stuff you can do, and an additional ADSR for the modulation section, which is pretty cool. Something, I find pretty cool. But the future impact, you also, have an LFO, multiple LFOs you can assign to things, envelope, you can assign to the filter, different things like that. So all these, the thing I love about these digital pedals is the routing is so easy, and it's so many routes you can go and avenues you can go down to build synths. Not just the bass synths, but everything. What's going on, laptop? Appreciate you. All the usual suspects chiming in. So if something like this interests you, you can, spend some time learning the values of the notes, and you can literally program it very detailed with lines and different things like that. For instance, say I wanted that to do an ascending line, I'm just going to put it to some random values. This, you can have a slow LFO on. Sequencer attached to the pitch of the oscillators. No problem. I definitely appreciate you stopping by. In general, I know especially if you're working, I definitely understand. Definitely appreciate you. All right, so. It takes a bit of experimentation to come up with this stuff, or just like, it takes not just experimentation. You actually gotta read the manual. Like you got to learn what each part of it does. But the cool thing about it is, once you have the information, you're not really relearning it for each synth. It applies to the other synths. Only thing you're reading the manual for is to learn how that particular device is applying that modifier to a sound. So now this the other cool thing. I can have that filter assigned to that sequencer as well. Now, if you're looking at each modifier individually, it's 6 of them, right? But is it six? I think it's 5 of them. It's 5 of them. Let's see what to do. It's six. It's 6 of them. So you got 6 modifiers, but you also can assign 6 different parameters to the expression pedal. But if you're not using those 6 slots for the expression pedal, you can then assign 6 additional parameters to, for instance, LFO-A, or if I wanted to do that sequence. So if you go to the sequence page, modifier page itself, you only can assign 1 parameter. But all you got to do is go over to the expression pedal page, turn it on LFO, or let's see, sequence. That's what we're doing. Sequence. We're going to turn that on the filter as well. Oh, we got to turn it off. LFO. So now the filter is opening with the sequence. So now that's one of the things I'm saying. Like this, the Enzo X is so flexible. I still have 5 more slots of things I can assign to that sequencer if I wanted to. Say I wanted the overdrive, or say I added bit crushing to it, and I wanted the bit crushing to be, sample rate to be moving with the filter and the pitch. I just would go and assign it. So it's the same thing with any of the modulation and reverb and delay parameters. You can have that half speed set to the LFO as well. It's so many things you can do. So we're gonna move on from the Enzo X because we'll be here all day. All right. Turn these off. So now we'll move on to the future impact. So the future impact is this little small pedal. As you can see, fits in the size of your hand, in the palm of your hand rather. But what you don't know about it is it's a room full of vintage synths essentially. So what you're looking at on the screen, make sure, yep, is the actual editor for the future impact, because you can't really, unlike the Chimera and the Enzo X, you can't really do a lot of the editing on the pedal. Like if you really want to do some editing, you're gonna have to get into the software. Like again, the Enzo X does have software that goes with it in addition to being completely configurable on the actual device. The Chimera does not have the software, but it is completely configurable on the actual device itself. In future impact, you gotta have the software. In order to have the software and get to it from your Future Impact to the computer. You also need a MIDI interface. So something like a CME H2 MIDI Pro would be fine. But you need a way to get the MIDI ports into your computer, and that's a MIDI interface. So in order to edit as well. So, all right. So what you're looking at on the screen here, we got some mostly square wave here, which is even though it says 0 right here, as you can see, the VCO, I had it already down, and the oscillator already transposed down an octave. So this is really an octave. This first octave, the first oscillator, second oscillator is actually, then you got the third one, and then the octave. And then I have them, as you can see, if you look here, the values, it's pretty much all the octave down, on what 13. Let's do this. Just want to make sure I don't mess up my values. Just reload it real quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Make sure you hit them reactions, subscribe, all that good stuff. Definitely appreciate y'all. See, damn. Oh. Let me know if the stream is still having issues, folks. So we got the Future Impact right here. And roll. Is we're using the square wave here as the octave down, using a saw wave and triangle and another triangle. All right, so on the filter, over in the filter section, right here, we're going with a 24 dB filter. I like to on the Future Impact, I like to go ahead and just pull the filter all the way down. All right, let me bring the volume of this down. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Let me know. But so far we just really got this sub octave here. And if we look right here in the VCA, ADSR, it's all sustained. So if we want to shape this filter, we're going to have to bring up this, involve the ADSR and how much. So we'll go around 70. Start there. And as you see, bring up the sustain. Sweep through the frequencies, bring up this resonance. Okay. I think it was just clipping too much. Definitely appreciate y'all. keeping the stream running smooth. So you hear that sweep there. So we're gonna leave that all down for the moment. We're gonna add some time. Some ooh. Okay. All right, give me 1 second, folks. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so it should be back now. Sorry about that, folks. Let me know if that's clean. Yeah, that should be better. All right, cool. So come over here. If we don't want it to open so much, bring that down. And we can also bring this resonance back down. Cool. Glad we got it back together. So pretty much we almost that filter is next is super important to what you want that sound to be. Great, you're not trying to give me a break. What is? It's nothing on. It's literally nothing on. What's going on? Hoping I don't have to end the stream, folks. I might. Sheesh. Okay. Y'all let me know what's going on. I'm trying to clear it up. It might just that be the fact that I'm trying to do this. Let's see. Let me know if stuff is still acting up, folks. Trying to get it together. Hopefully that's better. Somebody let me know if that's working out. Ooh, it is cracking. That's really weird. All right. I'm gonna have to restart this stream, guys. I definitely appreciate y'all chiming in. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, and share. Sorry about the crackling. I'm gonna stop it and try to figure out what's going on, and I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks, guys. Peace.